Ladies and gentlemen, from the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice, Deacon Gerald Celente.
Hello, everybody. This is Deacon Celente of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. And I have to tell you how wonderful I feel and how proud I am of all the people that came to the Occupy Peace and Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice Make America Healthy Again rally last Saturday. It was terrific. The people, all races, creeds, and colors, all ages, kind, loving, and generous. I want to thank everybody that's donated because it cost a lot of money to put this on. And here's a short clip of how we began. Hello, everybody. Halo. Halo, shampoo, halo. Remember that one? I want to thank everybody. My heart is so warm and thankful for all of you coming here and from the distances from Toronto, Ottawa, from Oregon, Missouri. Yep, people from all over came, and they were wonderful. And the speakers were sensational. Craig Jardula, Frank Morano, Gary Null, Dennis Kucinich, a real warrior for peace when he was congressman, and the national campaign manager of RFK Jr., the presidential candidate that I'm supporting because of his stances on freedom, people not being forced to take the COVID jab, and his anti-war policies, and almost repeating verbatim some of the foundation issues of Occupy Peace and Freedom. Bring home the troops, secure the homeland, end the wars, stop our involvement in Ukraine. We had thousands of people there. Beautiful crowd, beautiful day, beautiful music. Everything could not have been better. We sent out thousands of press releases, nationally, internationally, and locally. The local newspaper, the Daily Freeman, didn't cover our event at all. Nope. These are the major stories. Ready? Dive bar with style. Oh, isn't that wonderful? A dive bar with style. Biden McCarthy strike a deal. Okay. What else? Arts Mid-Hudson's Award event, June 6th. What else we got here? Oh, boy, look at this. Trolley Museum looks to get back on track. Not a word. Dennis Kucinich, Gary Null, Frank Morano, Craig Jardula, myself. Thousands of people. Zero coverage. You know why? Because the deacon is one of the most well-hated people here. That's right. I'm for peace. I'm for freedom. How dare you? How dare you? We are gutless little cowards of Kingston. Here, they even had the picture over here of the big picture of some music at the market. Oh, the farmer's market that's right across the street from the Crown Garden where we held a rally. Guitarist and songwriter Emily Beck fill the air with music at Kingston's Farmers Market. We fill the air with music. They hate me. They hate me because I won't support the Ukraine war. They hate me. They hate me because I refuse to get vaccinated. They hate me. They hate me because I have peace and freedom rallies when everything's locked down. They hate me for being a free man. Businesses close down when I have rallies. They call them political rallies. Peace and freedom? Make America healthy again? Gary Null? So, all they do is love war. America's wars, they love. They hate Russian wars. They hate everybody's war that America isn't at war with. America could kill. Brown University's study came out 2 weeks ago. Since 9/11, the politicians have stolen, $8 trillion of our dollars to give to the military-industrial complex. They've killed, according to Brown University, since 9/11, some 4.5 million people. Let's not talk about that. Those dirty Russians, how dare they? And then we have this arrogant little boy, a daddy's boy. I went to Dalton, I went to Harvard. My daddy was this and my daddy was that. Anthony Blinken, another little boy that couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, that doesn't go fight, that loves to send others to go get killed, that supported every war since he's been in the crime syndicate called Washington, D.C. Yep, him. Came out this week. Blinken dismisses calls for a ceasefire. Says U.S. must build up Ukraine's military. Oh, yeah. And we hate you, Celente, because you disagree with that. Why? How dare you don't steal our money and give it to the military? We hate you, Celente. Oh, President Biden announced another $300 million as the roads are rotting, as people homeless all over the streets, as people living paycheck to paycheck. $130 billion so far. But Blinken says U.S. must build up Ukraine's military so we can keep the bloody killing fields bloodier. Could you imagine living in Ukraine? Going into the basement, hiding from. What it's done to their economy, nobody talks about. What it's done to the people, nobody talks about. This war could have been over a long time ago if the United States didn't support it. Blinken has argued that a ceasefire in Ukraine that might benefit Russia would not create a lasting peace. Now, over the coming weeks and months, some countries will call for a ceasefire, Blinken said. And on the surface, that sounds sensible. Oh, on the surface, it sounds sensible? Maybe you're deep in hell and it doesn't sound sensible. Who are you to say this? Why, I'm Anthony Blinken. I love the Yemen war, of which some 377,000 people were killed by the United States supplying the weapons to Saudi Arabia. And I went there to give them intelligence back in 2015. And over half those people, by the way, according to the study, are under 5 years of age. That's the Anthony Blinken we're talking about. Sounds sensible, attractive even. After all, who doesn't want warring parties to lay down their arms? Who doesn't want the killing to stop? Says Blinken. You don't want the killing to stop. You didn't want the killing to stop in Iraq. You didn't want the American killings to stop in Afghanistan. You don't want the killings to stop in Yemen. You, Blinken, you loved the overthrow of Gaddafi. You didn't want to stop the killings and the killing fields in Syria. Brought to you by the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Barack Obama, of which you were part of, along with Samantha Rice, Susan Power, Hillary Clinton, and one after another. If only women were in charge. What a lie. Good and bad comes in every race, creed, and color. Need proof? We had the rally here. Every race, creed, and color. Good and bad. It will reward the aggressor and punish the victim. This is the Blinken, again, who has supported all of America's murderous wars. How about that, aggressor, Blinken? And where is the media talking about this? Oh, no, Blinken said it, so we blink, but we won't say anything bad about it. Yep. Ukraine's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence require Kiev's full participation and assent. If and when Russia is ready to work for true peace, the United States will respond in concert with Ukraine and other allies and partners around the world. Our support for Ukraine hasn't weakened our capabilities to meet potential threats with China and elsewhere. It's strengthened them. That's Blinken. Oh, yeah, let's get in war with China too. This is demonic, it's satanic, it's evil, it's Blinken, it's Biden, it is America. And they hate me for peace. They hate me for peace. The United States, together with our allies and partners, is firmly committed to supporting Ukraine's defense today, tomorrow, for as long as it takes. Are you going to go there to fight? Or all you politicians that vote for this, are you going to go there to fight? Because you're saying you're firmly committed to supporting Ukraine's defense. So you should go there and defend them, or else shut your mouth. You evil, demonic, Blinken, Bush, Obama, Biden, Bernie Sanders, AOC, McConnell, and all of the people that vote for war. Yep. So, there you got it. So let's go back to why I support RFK Jr. This is from a talk he just gave on with Wall Street Journal. Or was it CNN, one of them? I forget, Wall Street Journal. The original Russian offer, which was the Minsk Accord, which they offered to design and support, did not dismantle Ukraine, says Kennedy. It simply protected the ethnic Russians in Donbass who are under attack and 14,000 of them killed. That's right. And they're still killing them. But that doesn't make the news. 3 died in Kyiv by Russian missiles. 25 die in Donbass. That doesn't make the news. Their language had been taken from them, meaning the people in Donbass. They speak Russian. They're mostly Russian. And they voted to join Russia. And Russia refused. Russia did not want them. Russia said, no, we want to keep Ukraine a functioning nation. But they should have some autonomy within Ukraine to protect their citizens of Donbass and protect their language and culture. Now remember, the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych, the president of Ukraine, in 2014, wrote about it in detail in the Trends Journal magazine. He goes on to say, and I think that was a reasonable demand. Russia also asked that NATO be kept out of Ukraine. which I think is also reasonable. My uncle, John Kennedy, always said that you have to put yourself in the shoes of the adversary. June 10th, in the 60th anniversary of his speech at American University, which is probably the most important speech of his life, the speech was an interesting speech because he was telling the American people what the Cold War was like from the Russian point of view. And he reminded Americans that because we were raised thinking we won World War II, Americans won it. We watched all the TV shows. I watched Combat with Vic Morrow. And it was Americans who won the war. And my uncle was saying to them, no, it was the Russians that bore the brunt of the war. 1 out of every 7 Russians were killed. They were invaded through Ukraine 3 times. They've been invaded. And we need to understand that. And the Russians, in the beginning, were saying it's a red line to bring NATO into Ukraine. And it's just not me saying that. It's George Kennan, who is the architect of the American foreign policy. He said, if you move NATO to the east, the Russians are going to be forced to respond with violence. And now NATO is on the borders of Russia, and now they want to bring Ukraine into NATO. Not a word about peace on Memorial Day. But of course, we are doing everything we can. And again, I want to thank everybody for all your generosity. To illustrate the demonic levels of hate brought to you by the military-industrial complex and the sick politicians that are running and ruining our lives, this is a story from the New York Times on June 1st. That big picture there? A poisonous Cold War remnant that still escapes a solution. From 1950 to 1990, the U.S. Energy Department produced an average of 4 nuclear bombs. Why, those dirty Iranians, how dare... Oh, no, that was the Americans, I'm sorry. How dare they? Anyway, every day, 4 bombs a day. Turning them out hastily built factories and few environmental safeguards that left behind a vast legacy of toxic radioactive waste. In Washington, the Hanford site, they discovered 54 million gallons of highly radioactive sludge left from producing the plutonium in America's atomic bombs. And of course, they're worrying that it's poisoning the land and the rivers. This is just one example. The forever chemicals, when they do all these testings, how he put out a burning flame of a burning airplane and burning this and burning that, and all these chemicals have gone into the water all over the country. So the military-industrial complex is killing us. It's robbing us of our money and killing us. Oh, you're worried about climate change? Again, the forever chemicals are forever everywhere. So that's the other thing about Kennedy. He's an environmental lawyer before this. So I support him. Is there everything I agree with him? No. Who agrees with everybody in anything? Is it the perfect marriage? The perfect partnership? No. But he's certainly better than the evil people that are in charge now. So please watch the full rally. It's at the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. Hit the Who We Are button, and it'll come up. Or you could go to Occupy Peace and Freedom, occupypeace.com, occupypeace.com, and watch it. And do what you can to keep supporting us. The more support we get, the more we do. This costs a lot of money. And we can't do it without you. It's up to you. The future's in your hands. Don't drop it. United we stand, divided we die. Amen and amen.